And welcome to Craig's Gun Channel, Random Shots. This episode was pre-recorded due to a variety of scheduling conflicts more than anything else. Now, we are going to be doing this as kind of like a premiere, so both Evan and I will be able to respond to your comments, so feel free to comment, and any feedback or anything you want to know, we'll be there watching, able to respond back to you. So we're all going to be watching this together, on the YouTube, trying to hopefully have a good show. So as always, this show is pretty much about anything that's 2A related or even just adjacent. So, conspiracy theories, politics, really just kind of whatever comes to mind.
Current events. Whatever we want.
And I'll go ahead and put the spiel in the beginning part. I usually end with this. I'll probably still do it at the end too, just because. If you like this type of content, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're notified when we release new content. Share the program. We're trying to get the program out there, trying to grow the channel. So, appreciate your help with that. And so I guess we'll go ahead and get going. We'll start out just one new topic or new product announcement. Ruger has came out with what they call the Ruger Ready Dot. So it's a red dot sight specifically designed to fit on their self-defense pistols. Now, to fit on any, pistol that's got the same cut, it's the micro cut, and basically, this is kind of different. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I'm not sure really what I think. It is specifically designed for self-defense pistols and self-defense shooting. So I'll go ahead and go over the specifications, then we'll talk about that a little bit more. It has a 15 MOA dot, which covers about a 4-inch section at 25 yards. So it's a huge dot. It's co-witnessed to the iron sights. There's no windage or elevation adjustment. So you mount it on the pistol, and that's just where it is. So there's no moving parts. There's no battery. The light source is a light gathering fiber optic. Brightness adjustment. The brighter it is outside, the brighter the dot's going to be.
So question there, Craig. Yeah. What about night defense?
Absolutely useless at night. There's no tritium or anything like that to provide night illumination. That, I think, would be a next logical step to add to it.
To go to. Yeah.
Right, because just my thinking, I always envision a self-defense situation for some reason at night in the dark.
That's right. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah. So right there, I have to kind of ding it a little bit. As mentioned, the aiming dot's a 15 MOA dot. Magnification is 1x. I mean, it's just a red dot.
On the MOA.
On the MOA, yes.
The 4 inches at 25 yards is comparable to a standard circle dot on other illuminated red dots.
On the multiple reticle with the dot and circle both.
Yes,
it's as big as the circle.
So about. I mean, I want you to compare it to other red dots that are
most
out there.
Red dots are about 4 MOA.
Okay.
So I mean, this is a hunkin' huge red dot. So there again, it's meant for close range self-defense. So basically, you pull up, dot on target, pull trigger.
Sight acquisition is in a fast way is what they're trying to hit here.
Rapid,
in the daytime.
Rapid sight acquisition in the daytime. 12 millimeter lens. The dimensions, it's 1.6 by 0.9 by 0.9 inches. So I mean, it's small. Here, go ahead and show. This is what it looks like actually mounted on a firearm.
Pretty sexy.
It weighs 0.3 ounces, so weighs practically nothing. That's mostly because it's completely made out of polymer. It fits pistols and mounting plates designed for the Shield RMS-C footprint. It's parallax-free to 10 yards, which basically none of that means a whole lot at this point because of what it is. It also includes the mounting screws and a wrench for installing it.
So it looks like to me, Craig, that they took special care to make the co-witness a real, a absolute. They have to have the co-witness probably for the nighttime. That you can still pull up your night.
I'm assuming so. If you have night sights mounted on your gun, they'll still operate. I still struggle with the concept with this. MSRP, we'll go ahead and cover that first. $99.95, which is cheap for a red dot. But then when you think about all this stuff it doesn't have, then I don't know if it's really that much of a bargain. I have no idea what the street prices on this is going to be, but it's available from Ruger. It's a Ruger accessory. So it is an officially licensed Ruger accessory product. I envision at some point you'll probably be able to get like your Ruger Max 9, stuff like that with this mounted on it. Interesting idea. I really struggle with that daytime only use.
Yep. I was, first glance, I was ready to give this double thumbs up.
Until you heard that.
Good on Ruger.
Yep.
Until we got into you can only use it 10 hours a day.
Yep. Well, yeah.
It basically eliminates, and like you said, the defensive use of a firearm, in my mind, also is a nighttime, more often than not situation. So
probably isn't really the case, but that's always what I envision.
Yeah.
And just knowing the fact that you have a optic sight on your pistol, but just for use during the day.
Right.
So that part, it's odd. A tritium vial does not cost that much. So for $130, they could have had a tritium vial in there.
Like maybe that's their next step.
And that might be
definitely Ruger dipping their big toe in the pool.
Yep.
And getting into the sight.
Yep.
Segments. So that's. So I'll hold off on the 2 thumbs up. I'll give it a keep rolling, Ruger. Finish what you started.
Yeah, good idea. So, let's keep the development part of that going.
Yep, absolutely. Good stuff, though. Good stuff. All right, let's talk about this. Last week on our live episode, we did part 2 of anti-gun companies that do not deserve your money, and 3 months ago, possibly, we did the first segment of this of 35 companies that I chose out of a list of 250 that might be more known by more people. So last week we did 15, and this week we're going to do our final 15 on this subject line: anti-gun companies that do not deserve your hard-earned money. Used to be kind of, I don't know, agnostic towards boycotts. It was something that the other side did, and I kind of frowned on it.
Yep,
what are you doing?
Yep.
However, as childish as boycotts are, they're effective.
Yes.
Case in point, Bud Light is a great example of how you choose and isolate a target that has stepped out of bounds and make them pay in the only way that they understand, which is in the pocketbook, right?
Yep.
So I'm morphing, I'm evolving into how I feel about boycotts. I think that maybe our side of the fence, Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, need to start playing the game, because the game is being played whether we're involved in it or not.
Right. We might as well go ahead and become a player.
That's right. That's right.
Totally agree.
So look at the impact just this last week that Bud Light's poor choices inflicted on a beer juggernaut, Anheuser-Busch. I think they said it was $4 billion in 1 week.
Yes.
$4 billion hit. Fact is, the left has mastered the art of inflicting real consequences on its opponents, and for anything and everything that makes them wet their whitey-tighties. So the rules have changed. It's time for cutesy time to be over. Let's get in the game. This is part 3 of some other companies that you may or may not use or have heard of. Maybe you can avoid. I am actively calling for people with a conscience to spend their money wisely. Their money is a vote of confidence to companies that hate you and want to disarm you.
Yep.
Is not money well spent. It is time for the side of good to quit letting these crybabies walk all over us and speak the only language they seem to understand, which is real and severe monetary losses.
Yep.
All right, so starting off part 3, MetLife. MetLife is among the largest global providers of insurance, annuities, and employee benefit programs with 90 million customers in over 60 countries. MetLife?
Yep. Actually, no.
No?
I do not have.
I don't either.
Now, here comes the thing. I completely agree with everything you're saying, but you have to use some common sense, too. Sometimes you have no choice but to use some of these. But whenever you have a choice,
That's a good point.
keep this in mind, because that choice comes with repercussions.
That's right.
So,
A good point. MetLife's a big player.
They
I mean,
are.
I know people that have that. I'm Blue Cross, but I don't know what their stance is on this stuff, but it'd be interesting to find out. This isn't really, the number 2 one is not really a business, but it's a country music star that shows up on this list, and she in herself is I don't know, she's an entity that generates money, right? Her concerts,
Yep.
her albums, her, sponsorships, etc. Maren Morris. Some of you may have heard her. I guess she was up in Tim McGraw and Faith Hill's Chili about transgender support
okay.
a couple months ago. But this broad does not have a conservative cell in her body, which is very surprising. How she's in the country music space.
Yes, that is odd.
She's like that unicorn or the needle in the haystack type of situation. I mean, what's more country, or what is country music without trucks, moonshine, mama, and guns? Am I right? So Maren Morris, I think on our first episode we had Taylor Swift.
Yep.
Was in that list. Let's add Maren Morris to the list. NBC Universal. I don't think that's going to shock anybody, Craig.
I wouldn't think so. I would really hope not. I mean, when you talk about, the mainstream media, well, they're one of the primary drivers.
So I mean, take that for what it is. If you can avoid them for most things, do it. I mean, if you have other choices that you enjoy.
Yep.
Number 4, Now This News. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
It's a pretty big deal. It's internet-driven news.
Okay.
Now This News is a progressive social media-focused news organization founded in 2012. The company posts short, in most cases 15-second long news videos in hyper-partisan content. So that doesn't surprise me that they're anti-gun. Now This News was founded by Huffington Post. There's another. In some cases, we would call that a clue.
Yes, that should
Right.
definitely be a clue.
So Huffington Post co-founder and former chairman Keith Lehrer is in charge of Now This News.
I do have to go ahead and add a dig on this one. In most of their cases, the news is 15 seconds or less. It's clearly because the people on the left can't deal with anything longer than 15 seconds. Their attention span's like a gnat's.
That's true. They got to move on.
They got to move on.
MoveOn.org. All right, next one, NERCS. This is a convenient, affordable prescription and test delivery fee with free shipping. So the website said it was mostly West Coast. For you West Coasters, you can chime in with your comments if this is something you see out there. I have not heard of or seen this
never heard of them. Nope.
in Midwestern United States, but this is something, this type of business of meds and test kits and diagnostics being shipped straight to your house is very hot.
It's one of the next big things that's coming.
It is, and it's not probably going to go away either. So if you are on NERCS, I would urge you to maybe find somebody that is at least less vocal about their anti-gun stance. Is that fair?
That's fair, yes.
Yep. And there's tens, if not 50s, of these companies out there doing this. So, next one up is called OfferUp. I have seen this.
Okay.
This is the equivalent of like a Craigslist or an eBay type of thing where you can post used items that you want to sell and so on and so forth. So their description is instantly connect with local buyers and sellers on OfferUp. Buy and sell everything from cars and trucks, electronics, furniture, and more. So I have heard of this one.
Okay.
I've never been on it, but I have heard of people using OfferUp in Midwest.
Okay.
So it's a pretty big company. I can't recommend you go to eBay because they're actually worse. So.
Yeah.
Next one, Okta Incorporated, formerly Sacer Incorporated. It's an American identity and access management company based in San Francisco. It provides cloud software that helps companies manage and secure user authentication. My company uses Okta, so it's It's a two-factor authentication.
Oh, okay.
So if you're logging into your company's website, they will fire you something to your phone. You type the code in so that you can actually access your company.
Verify identity.
Yes,
Yep.
thank you. OpenPath. OpenPath is a smarter, easier, cloud-based mobile access control solution. This door access control system with touchless smartphone badge and key card support. So this, a lot of houses that I work on in my business have these keyless entries, not specifically OpenPath, but punch codes, key fabs. That's what this company does. They're one of many competitors that do the same thing. But a lot of these smart homes that people are, they're switching everything on, Google, Alexa, play this, or dim the lights, or close the garage door. That's a smart home. So now they have...
Spy on your every move.
Yes, yes, exactly. So I wouldn't recommend any of those companies for any of this, but OpenPath has been very boisterous about their anti-Second Amendment stance, and have actively donated to anti-gun politicians, etc.
Okay.
Paravision. Paravision is the leader in trusted vision AI with globally deployed AI software built for the most challenging applications. With all the scuttlebutt in the interwebs and podcasts, and if anybody actually subscribes to Elon Musk, he's really into this AI thing, saying that we need to slow our roll.
And he's a smart dude.
Yeah.
When he says something like that, I think people need to listen.
And
he was involved in a lot of the initial startup of all these companies, and now he's like, oh, we need to slow down.
He's actually used to be friends with the Google AI, somebody high up in the Google AI that, and I guess they had a falling out, but...
And it's because of this, actually.
Yes.
Yep.
Elon claims that the people building this AI see it as a god.
Yep.
As an actual god, and it does not. We should not say negative things. It's his baby. He's making a god. Don't rag.
Well, actually, Elon Musk was just Tucker just interviewed him.
Yes,
and he talked about some of this stuff. And these people think that these AI intelligences, their consciousness that's being developed by these, should have all the same rights and privileges of any other person that's conscious.
Yes.
That's frightening, actually.
And they don't have answers on how to shut it off if they get out of control. I mean, they haven't accounted for the end around. If AI is hooked up to this power source, can they perform some sort of end around to get it? That sort of thing. Have you heard of the hallucinations with AI?
No.
This is something that, as the AI is programming itself and growing itself to be more wise, quote unquote, if it doesn't have an answer for something and it needs to plug something in, it'll make up something based on its already programmed knowledge. An example would be somebody asked it to give me 3 book examples that talk about X, Y, and Z. And it didn't know any, so it made up 3 book titles with three authors, and so it just made it up. They don't even exist.
That's disturbing, actually.
And they call that hallucinating, AI hallucinations. So I've spent too much time on this one, but
we need to devote an episode just talking about AI.
We talked about that,
yep.
Absolutely. Shutterstock is my next one. Shutterstock is an American provider of stock photography, stock footage, stock music, and editing tools. My wife has used Shutterstock before to make picture frames for gifts, or she likes making big blankets for her nieces that have a picture of her and her niece on it, and they print the picture on top of the blanket type of deal through Shutterstock. So we need to stop that or find her an alternative. SkySafe. SkySafe allows governments, law enforcement, airports, cities, and more to manage their airspace with real-time drone data and analytics.
I'm starting to see kind of a theme here with some of this stuff. It's frightening that they're all anti-gun because the amount of data and control at their fingertips is a little scary.
It is. And they kind of seem like they're all
Interwoven.
Yes. Like one will talk to you, all kind of aimed at keeping the citizens in line.
Yep.
Right. Snap Docs, next one. Fast, convenient, error-free e-closings with the #1 digital mortgage closing solution built for every participant in the mortgage ecosystem. When was the last time you did a refi? Or a mortgage?
Actually, it was about 6 years ago.
Did you do this?
No.
You had actual paper?
We had actual paper.
So
I like paper. I like signing
I do
stuff.
too. I had my last refi I did where I got I hit the absolute bottom, so I've got a great interest rate right now. But the last one I did was with SnapDocs through my realtor.
So you're supporting them then?
I gave some sort of money to them, and I hang my head in shame. Sonic Corporation, founded as Sonic Drive-In and more commonly known as Sonic or the Drive-In, is an American drive-in fast food restaurant chain owned by Inspire Brands. Interestingly enough, it's not just Sonic. Sonic, the parent company, owns Arby's and Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, okay. It's
So it's, and a lot of these fast food companies actually do have these umbrellas.
Yes, that's actually becoming the norm now.
Yes, and I think you'll see it later on in here that there's another one that does the same thing. Square. So this is one I've heard about. I've never used Square, but Square helps millions of sellers run their businesses from secure credit card processing to point of sale. Yep. So wherever you swipe your card, you can either have it processed by Square or one of its Visa has, all these companies. Square is an alternative processor that is very highly, I guess I should say, poorly ranked in the conservative values. There are a lot of people on the conservative side that actively tell you get away from Square because they're monitoring you, like PayPal. Same idea. So Square, get out. Next one, the Container Store. Have you ever shopped here, Craig?
Actually, I have not.
Me neither.
But I've heard of this one. I've definitely heard of.
I've seen them when my wife drags me to the mall. There's always a Container Store in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She wants to go there, and I'm like, I'll be in the food court. I'll be getting a honey bun or something like that. But the Container Store is a retailer specializing in storage, home office organization supplies, including custom closets and shelving systems. Enough said about that. How about ThunderCore? Ever heard of them?
I've not heard of that one, no.
Me neither. EVM compatible public blockchain. So this is a dang it, I lost it. This is a shitcoin, I want to call it, but it's what are the cryptocurrency? Dang on it. It's a shitcoin. It's a company that made up. It's not Bitcoin, so it's shitcoin. Sorry, Pastor. But anyways, it's a sub-second confirmation. It's a very quick processing, online processing blockchain company, ThunderCore. They have their own coin that they distribute. That's the last time I looked on there is worth like 0.0004 cents per coin. It's not a real heavy hitter.
One of the other hundreds of them that are out there now. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is probably. I would expect it not to be around for much longer.
Yeah, go ahead and put your money in Bitcoin.
Yes, that's right. Next one, Tillable. So this is one of those ones, Craig, that I perceive the farming community as having American family values. Solid American.
Should be a safe bet.
Yes, should be one of those things that you can just count on. Tillable is a website and an organization that allows landowners and farmers to buy, sell, rent, finance, manage, and research farmland all in one real estate platform. So my mom's side of the family was farmers, and they used to lease a lot of farmland to actually grow their crops on, and that's something that happens all around here also. People do that. So this Tillable website or organization is very anti-Second Amendment. I'm sure, although I don't have names to tell you, I'm sure there are alternatives out there that our farmer friends can go to if you care where your dollar's going. Next one, Vimeo is the world's most innovative video experience platform. We enable anyone to create high-quality video experiences to connect better and bring ideas to life. How about you, Craig?
This one's a rough one because
it's being broadcast on Vimeo, isn't it?
Well, Vimeo is
edited.
Vimeo is one of the platforms that we keep backup of our content on there. They were one of the first to the market. They're super easy to use. Might have to rethink that now.
I kind of feel dirty right now.
Yeah, because even just knowing that, okay, we're a 2A firearm gun channel.
Hey,
and some of our money is being used to directly combat us. That is a problem.
I'm willing to not look the other way. I'm willing to forgive ourselves because you didn't know it until today.
I did.
Or did you?
No, I did not know that.
I hope you said
that. To be fair, though, there's a noticeable trend for anyone that's watching with any of this stuff, and it was kind of noticeable anyway. If it's something in the tech sector, it's probably working against us.
Yep.
And that's just an unfortunate reality.
It'll be interesting to see if you do start researching it, if there is an alternative.
If there's an alternative, yep.
Even, what we'd settle for is not being blatantly anti. Just
you can have your opinion.
Do your business.
Don't use your money against.
Yes. Thank you. Next one, Voxer. Voxer is a walkie-talkie messaging app for your smartphone with live voice like push-to-talk walkie-talkie. Text, photo, and location sharing.
There again, all that information that they have.
Yes.
Wow.
I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of that one either.
What's the one that's more popular here? Do you know what I'm talking about?
The only thing I could think of was it Nextel? They had theirs on
Nextel was broke the glass on this and started, let's see, it is Zello. Ever heard of Zello?
Actually, no, I haven't.
Zello is a direct competitor of Voxer.
Oh, okay.
And it has the push-to-talk. Excuse me.
Now, how are they, do you know, as far as...
Not 100%.
Okay.
A group that is prepper, self-reliance, pro 2A that I belong to, PrepperNet, you ever heard of them?
Yep.
Actually uses them on their conference calls. So
okay.
I know.
So hopefully,
I know the leader of that group, and he does all kinds of research. I would lose money in a bet thinking that he hadn't researched it to a T. So
okay, that's good to know.
All right, Yum Brands.
Oh, man, what are we going to do? No Taco Bell.
This is the one I was telling you about.
Yep.
Yum Brands, just on its face, most people aren't going to connect that it means Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut.
Yep.
Dude, what does that leave? After our first episode, our second episode, and this episode, there's no place else to eat.
There's not a lot of places, no.
Local, right?
Yeah.
Go local.
Go local.
Go local. No, but that's disappointing. So that's our 15 or so for week number 3. That'll be our last episode on, at least for the time being, of anti-gun companies that don't deserve your money. Don't give it to them. That's it for that. What do we want to do next?
I think maybe it's time to move on to Rapid Fire.
Rapid Fire. As you know, if you have joined us in the past, Rapid Fire is that segment of the show that we put some funny memes up that have some...
Sometimes they're serious.
Real deep meaning, and some of them are funny, and so on and so forth. So our first one today is kind of a educational meme. I thought it was cool. Craig, you know why I put this one on here, don't you?
Yep.
This is something that I struggle with, so go ahead and put it up there. Blow that bad boy up.
Okay, go ahead and pull it up here.
All right, so this is a meme of how to correct your trigger pulling if you're doing something. If you're pulling left, if you're pushing right, how to correct that with your trigger finger. I thought that was pretty cool. Craig can tell you that I am constantly the one all the way to the right. I try to pull the trigger with the tip of my finger, which ends up pulling left hard. And Craig was nice enough to tell me what I was doing wrong, and I'm getting better slowly. So.
Now, to be fair, for anyone that watches the channel and watches me shoot, you're already aware that I actually suffer from that as well. That's why I was able to identify you happening to you so fast, because I have the same problem.
Okay.
And I can't help it. It's like, oh, there I'm shooting left, and usually it's left and slightly down, and that's pretty much what drives that.
So this is something you might want to clip and save, or try making some improvements next time you're at the range. All right, number 2. This one, I'm going to need some help from Craig on this one. Let's blow that bad boy up. ATF gun classification made easy. On your left-hand side, you see what they call as complete legal, and on the right is either illegal or you need to pay an exorbitant tax stamp fee in order to have these features on your gun. So talk us through this.
It just goes to show the stupidity of it all. On the left side, you have the completely legal, and there's all kinds of little, they've got the little drawback there, and at the barrel on the pistol, it's like pew pew pew. It's got a looky thingy on the top for the sight and a bang switch, and all that kind of stuff.
Kind of poking fun at
kind
the
of poking
ATF,
fun.
Yep.
But then if you look on the right side, the exact same gun, but now it has a stock on it, or basically now it's a rifle, and the firearm itself, the damage it can do, all that kind of stuff is exactly the same. It doesn't make it any more deadly. Now, with that being said, a stock does make it a little bit more easier to control, so maybe a little bit more accurate, but it doesn't make it more concealable. Actually, it makes it harder to conceal. It's just silly. And then on the left again, you got, this is a rifle, 16-inch barrel or more. And then on the right, they've got a pistol with a vertical foregrip, and it's not a pistol. It's an any other weapon because it has a foregrip. There again, the stuff, it's
which
just
puts
arbitrary.
it in a classification all by itself.
Yeah,
right?
classification all by itself.
Yeah, so 16, I like the part that the 16-inch is an arbitrary number.
Yes.
Do you have any history on why they picked 16?
Actually, that's just, they actually did an average of rifle barrels at the time.
Is that right?
Yeah. The whole thing with we'll get into a whole discussion about the NFA. That's a whole separate show in and of itself. And then they've got the arm brace pistol with a barrel that's under 16 inches, and now that's a short barreled rifle because it's under 16-inch barrel. And then you got the foregrip on it, but the whole thing is just it's kind of silly. This is just kind of pointing fun
making
at
fun at the ridiculousness of these bureaucrats that really have no,
and the total arbitrary nature that people with no knowledge of firearms really make all these rules.
Yes.
And then they can't even figure them out themselves because they flip-flop all the time. Oh, this is perfectly fine. Oh, now it's not. Well, now it is again. Well, now it's not again. The problem is, if you fall into that having something when it's a now it's not again, you get to go to prison.
Yeah. Yay.
So, okay.
All right, moving on. Next clip. This is something to cheer about for Second Amendment lovers such as us.
Very cool.
More than 50% of the country, as of 2 or 3 weeks ago, has some sort of permitless concealed carry now, or constitutional carry. Florida will make it 26 out of 50. So the majority of the states now are constitutional carry, permitless carry. Don't let your libtard friends convince you that carrying guns is a fringe activity. Couldn't have said it better myself. Hat tip to Phoenix Ammunition. Next one. This is something we hear a lot by the dopes that really have no idea.
No idea
anything about firearms. There we got Pocahontas up at the top saying, if you need 30 rounds to hunt, you suck at hunting. Our response always should be, as the dude at the bottom says, I can't remember that guy's name, if you need a disarmed society to govern, then you suck at governing. I love it. I love the comeback.
Yep.
I think you guys will like this one. Another pat yourself on the back. Americans own 46%. If you can blow that up, I don't know if they can read it. Americans own 46% of the world's 1 billion guns, according to a UN report. For all the, Yep, so let's leave it at that. That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive, and
maybe that's why we haven't had a land invasion
there's
so long.
Some truth to that, and part of this, though, is because a lot of the other countries ran by dictators or other type of regimes.
And how do they get control of their people, Craig?
They disarm them first.
Oh, interesting.
So, yes.
Interesting. All right, next. This is kind of a smack in the face for which one blows it up?
Right there.
There. For all those people who wore a mask while driving alone, I still see these people.
Yes.
The new outdoor seatbelt is now available. I think that's pretty funny. I still see these whack jobs running around driving by themselves or outside walking with one on. You know what? They are free to live their life. I'm not gonna harass them about it. It's just fun to poke fun. Next one, hat tip Dan Price on Twitter. Millennials. Okay, so this is interesting. Millennials hold 4.8% of all wealth. There are now 40-year-old millennials at the same age. At the same 40-year-old age, Generation Xers had 9% of the wealth, and Boomers at the same age of 40 had 21%. What's the trend showing you here, Craig?
It's a definite downward trend.
The largest generation in history did what the system told them to do and become the most educated in history, and now they are the poorest in history.
Yep.
So education doesn't necessarily translate to wisdom, does it?
No, not at all. Actually, I would go so far as to say the more educated you are, probably the less wisdom and common sense that you have.
Good one. All right, next. This one I want you to look at, and one of these four women is happy. Can you tell me which one?
Clearly, it's the lower left.
The poor guy, dude. Look at all the guys are just like having the worst day of their life. All right, next one, the hat tip, the Kobayashi letter. All right, the U.S. now has, number one, record $16.7 trillion in household debt. That's not country debt.
Wow.
That's how many people we have? 365 million?
Yeah.
365 million people have racked up 16.5 trillion in debt. That's crazy. We now have a record 11.9 trillion in mortgages, which is most of that 16.5. We have a record 1.6 trillion in auto loans. We have a record almost a trillion in credit card debt, which is crazy. Remember last time we talked about that? People are using their credit cards to buy groceries.
Yeah.
Because of where we're at right now. It's very hard for a lot of people to let go of the lifestyle they're living pre-inflation, pre-economic downturn. Meanwhile, 36% of all Americans have more credit card debt than savings, with balances rising at the fastest pace since 1999. This is all while mortgage rates just hit 7.1%, and the credit card debt rates hit 24.9%. Buying groceries at 24.9% interest.
That's
so the moral of the story is we are fighting inflation with debt, which is a losing.
That is a losing proposition.
Yes, it is. Next one, hat tip, woke archive. Expletive, holy expletive. China's social credit system has banned millions from using planes. We were just talking about
this earlier.
From using planes and trains. This is what the left has in store for America. Wokeness must be stopped dead in its track. So this whole thing, if your social score over in China, who knows if it's being used against political enemies? If that counts again, I'm sure it does.
That would never happen. No.
Part of what they're doing, though, that I heard on this is that neighbor A turns in neighbor B to the government. They can get a bump in their social credit.
Brownie points.
Yeah, they get the bump in the social credit score for turning in their neighbors. Think of the chaos that would cause here. Not only that, they're just always looking over your shoulder, and the days of Mr. Wilson peeking over the fence and howdy neighbor, those days are done.
Those days are done.
Those days are toast. All right, next one, survival world news hat tip. 327 shoplifters have been arrested 6,000 times in Democrat-run New York City. Let me say that again. There are 6,000 arrests of the same 327 shoplifters. Tell me about that, Craig.
that is just, well, the whole catch and release program that these DAs that are bought and paid for by Soros, I mean, so there's zero penalty, to do criminal.
Yep.
And then this
They
also
get that
shows you
little
too.
stack on the wrist, and they're out there doing it tomorrow.
327 people, 6,000 arrests. How many more crimes did they commit that they didn't get arrested for? So that 327, that little contingent it's a virtual crime wave, just those people.
Yes. Quick math tells me each one of those 327 would have to be almost 20 times arrested each.
Yeah.
Just as an average. All right, next. This is a go get 'em, yay, Second Amendment. Somebody online was selling these T-shirts. I thought they were pretty cool. Celebrate diversity.
I could go along with that one.
Since diversity is a buzzword that's used and held in high esteem, this is my idea of diversity.
Yep.
You with me on that?
I'm with you on that one.
Next one, hat tip Charlie Kirk. If a person shoplifts once, politicians should make sure he is put in jail. If a person shoplifts, easy for me to say, 18 times in 1 year, we should put the politician in jail. I love it.
Yep.
I freaking love it. Nearly a third of all shoplifting arrests in New York City last year involved with, I already told you that. So, in New York City, your policies are not protecting business. You're not protecting people's incomes, people's well-being, people's ability to pay their bills.
But they are going really out of their way to protect the criminals.
That's right. I just don't get it.
And who pays the taxes? The criminals sure don't.
I think that's awesome. If a shoplifter gets picked up 18 times, then that politician needs to have a little skin in the game.
Yep.
So maybe that's why all the Walmarts are closing in Chicago. They're just sick of it.
And they won't come right out and say it, but that's why.
That's why. Yep. All right, next one, hat tip Babylon Bee. Another one of those Babylon Bees that are so funny and they're almost true. Are they true? because of where we are. Chicago mayor warns that if local Walmart locations close, people will have fewer places to shoplift. Kind of like I was foreshadowing there a little bit, wasn't it?
Yep.
But this guy's a joke. This is the male version of Lori Lightfoot on steroids. This guy was asked by a news reporter to condemn the rioters 3 times, and he wouldn't do it. He was more concentrating on why Walmart was shutting the doors and not going to be able to provide a place for people to pick up their... I mean, come on.
And, well, the thing is, though, okay, I'm going to say we all know, but, when I say we all, the people watch this show. We all know how bad Lori Lightfoot was. Who would have thought that they would have finally got rid of her to get someone worse? It's just, it boggles the mind.
You get what you vote for.
Yes.
These guys, I mean, these people, I can't understand the black community still voting 90+% for Democrats. And places, especially like Baltimore, that the Democrats have governed Baltimore for the last 50 years, and it is the same or worse crap hole than it's always been. Nothing is getting better, yet you still give your votes to these jackboots.
Well, it's because they keep telling them that we're going to make it better.
Be afraid of the Republican, right? We'll save you from these bigoted Republicans.
Yep.
All right, next one. Panic buyers be like. All right. So the whole hold. 2019, 17 cents per round. It looks like 9mm. April 2020, 30 cents per round. November 2020, 50 cents per round. We talked about this the other day.
Yep.
Where they're at right now, and I trust Craig's judgment on this, is probably as low as we'll ever see it again.
I would say that would be the case.
So what's your recommendation to those folks out there?
Go ahead and buy. I mean, and go ahead and do that knowing that it's going to make you feel icky because it's a lot of money. It used to be the gun was the expensive part of the shooting equation. Now it's almost like buy your ammo, get the gun for free. I mean,
we're never going to see 2015 prices again.
Never.
All right, next one. This is a version. Do you want to do these?
Oh, sure, we can do these. I thought this one was funny. Canned goods, we all should stock up on those. in case of emergency.
That looks very familiar to me.
That's it's not mine.
Where are
I wish it was. I'd like to have that. That's a nice setup.
I didn't see any Chef Boyardee up there.
It's inside.
Oh, okay.
That's just you know to preserve freshness.
That's a good one.
Yep. Moving on to the next one here. Due to price increase on ammo, do not expect a warning shot. I like that one too.
That's you know what, for real. If it's a $150 pull, it's going to make me think twice about. It's
going to make you think twice.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'll let you cover this one just because I know you'll think it's funny.
Just when you thought ammo prices would fall, the libtards start buying it.
Yep.
And you know what? That's true. I've seen a lot, especially the transgender extremists out there that are trying to. I mean, there's a big push for them right now to arm up and ammo up. Which, as an American, have at it. With hopefully you have clean ideas of use for it, and not what am I trying to say? I mean, it's more than likely for a vindictive.
It's probably going to be used for something that's not good.
That's not good. Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for Second Amendment rights for everyone. The Second Amendment, it's everyone's right in our country.
Yep.
Because it's a God-given right. It's not a government-given right. But with that being said,
intentions are pure.
If your intentions are good, I'm all for it. If you're not, then you just became the other side.
Libtards. They ruin everything they touch.
They do.
And they're ruining the price of ammo now, and it's just par for the course.
And one last one here. There's only 2 times you can have too much ammunition. When you're drowning and when you're on fire.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
That is a fair assessment. Other than that,
I like it.
There's, you can never have too much.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap on there. Thank you very much for watching this segment. We'll be back live next week. And as always, appreciate your comments and feedback. If you like the program, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. We're on all the other social media platforms as well. YouTube's been on a tear lately as far as links and stuff, so there's no links. Just go Google Craig's Gun Channel and everything pops up. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up. So any final words?
Nope. Peace.
So until next time, stay safe.